Nobody tells you this part about having a free day. You ever notice that? I mean, you look at your schedule and you see a wide open day. And you think, man, I'm going to get so much done today. No, you're not. What you've actually done is unknowingly scheduled every unfinished task in your life to show up at the same time. Well, hey there, folks. Welcome back to the One-Eye Podcast. I'm your host, Rock Pepe Lozano, and today we're talking about a day that started out real organized and ended up looking like a yard sale ran by a confused one-eyed man with no plan. Now, I woke up this morning feeling good. Coffee was hot, sun was just right, and birds were chirping like they had nothing to worry about, which I really didn't trust. And I said to myself, today's the day. I'm going to knock out that one project. You ever say that? That one project. Not 5, not 10, just one. Simple, clean, respectable. Now I had it all lined out too. Tools laid out nice, extension cord stretched out like it meant business, and I had my coffee sitting right where I could sip between moments of productivity. And I'll tell you something, there is no better feeling than standing there looking at your tools before you've actually used them yet. That's the last moment of confidence you're gonna have. I even did that thing we all do, where you nod your head like you already finished the job. Today's main project, one project that I've cleared my entire day and the next 3 days for. I'm going to take down a porch and help a friend in need. I felt the strength to take on all this alone. And when they asked, "Are you sure you don't need my grandson to help you?" I said, "I'll be just fine. I've been doing this for years." Of course, my mouth forgot to listen to my brain and body, who were screaming and whistling for a timeout to remind me that that was 15 years ago. Well, my first day started out pretty good. Loaded up the ladder, all the tools I thought I'd be needing, like my sawzall, my circular saw, pry bars, and long-handled deck wrecking bars, and a few others, which for some reason seemed a bit heavier than I recalled them being. And away I went to help my neighbor out. And the day started off rather cool. So I have my bib overalls on and a sweatshirt to keep me warm but not restrict me. You know what I'm talking about, my fellow patriots and DIY followers. And that was my first mistake, not listening to the weather report for the day, because it went from 40 degrees in the morning to 82 in no time at all. And my second mistake, underestimating how unsteady it can feel going up a ladder. I don't remember how wobbly that old ladder could be when I was loaded up trying to carry some tools up to cut away the roof of that deck. But nothing like trying to get back down said ladder. Seems like the ground has gotten so much further as I've gotten older, and the ladder seems to be wandering a bit side to side as I try to step onto it to scale down it. Well, I got as much done on that project as physically possible due to the heat of the day, and possibly tiring myself out a bit from removing those big sections of the roof that were, just a tad bulky in their disposition to my strength and size. So I decided it's time to let my neighbor know I'd be back in the morning due to the heat of the day and being a bit overwhelmed. Of course, they say it's perfectly fine, as I have actually gotten quite a bit done, and my body is screaming that I really need to be thinking about getting rid of my ladders and working over my head with power tools anymore. So yours truly moves on to something else, maybe a tad easier to do in the warmth of the day, and it's on to prepping some birdhouses for Susie to put up. Well, that I promised I'd be getting to so that she could put them up for our feathered friends. Only thing is, I forgot my tools that I needed at the neighbor's house, so I had to go get them. Now, as you can see, my day is going from one job I had planned on completing to 2 projects I had issues with right away. But as I'm walking back to the shop from my neighbor's house by my yard, I noticed the grass seemed a bit tall. Well, I tell myself I got a bit of time, so I think I'll mow the yard and then get back to the birdhouses afterwards. Are you seeing a pattern here, my fellow patriots and DIY followers? Well, before I start, I figure I might as well change into something a little bit cooler, so I go in and change from my sweaty clothes to something just a tad cooler. Well, as I'm changing, I see the ceiling fan wobbling. So I tell myself, that's a 10-minute job at best. So I'll wipe that one out in no time at all. Except my stepladder, well, you guessed it, it's at the neighbor's too. So off I go to grab that for my 10-minute ceiling fan fix. Now, to be honest with you, I ain't touched a thing yet since working on that deck demo. But I'm already proud of myself. Now, as if my interruptions weren't bad enough, because they were all self-inflicted, here comes the one we can all say has happened to the best of us. Because it was right about this time, as I was preparing to pick up my tools and start fixing that wobbly ceiling fan, well, my phone rings, and I made my 3rd mistake of the day. I answered it. Now, I ain't saying don't answer your phone, but I am saying nothing good ever comes from answering your phone when you've got momentum. And next thing I know, I'm standing there, tool in one hand, phone in the other, and I have completely forgotten what I picked that tool up for. Well, anyway, after fixing my wobbly ceiling fan, it's off to the garage to grab my mower so I can get to my mowing on my yard. And then, just like clockwork, here comes Jerry. You ever get that one neighbor who ain't ever in a hurry, but somehow always shows up right when you are? He don't pull in fast. Oh no, he creeps by real slow, like he's checking on livestock. Then he rolls that window down and yells, "Hey, Pappy, what you working on?" And I said, "The same thing I was working on before you stopped me." And Jerry does that one thing where he nods like he understands, but you can tell he ain't leaving. And now we're just sitting there talking. And while we're talking, I made the mistake of setting my tool down. And folks, that was the moment the whole day turned. You ever set a tool down and it just, disappeared? And I'm looking around. I'm checking the table, I'm checking the ground, and I'm checking places that it has no business being. And then I look over and check out Biscuit just sitting there, just staring at me, like he knows exactly where that tool is. But he ain't part of this investigation. And about that time, Susie steps outside. Now, she don't rush and she don't panic. She just observes. You ever been observed by your wife? That ain't a look. That's an evaluation. She looks at the yard. She looks at me. She looks at the tools scattered like I lost a fight. And she says, "You getting anything done today?" And I said, "I'm in the process of several things." She nods. That slow nod. You know the one where she's already made her decisions about you. And she says, "Looks like you're in the process of not finishing one of them." Folks, that right there is 40 plus years of married wisdom delivered in one sentence. And I kind of stood there for a second, looking around at everything I hadn't finished. And I felt it. That little bit of frustration. But then, you know what? It hit me. I'm standing in my yard on a day I get to choose what I work on. Talking to a neighbor with my wife nearby. And I thought, man, this ain't a bad day. Why, there's folks out there who don't get days like this. No freedom to choose their work, no time to stand around talking, and no yard to scatter tools in. And here I am, complaining about a day that, it's actually pretty darn good. And now it's time for that little part of the show I call Pappy's Practical Corner. All right, now one thing I know for sure is that we all go through days like the one I've had. And I assure you, I, for one, ain't saying I got this all figured out. But here's what I am learning. Pick one job. Finish it first. Put your tools back where they belong, or Biscuit's gonna claim ownership. And when someone stops by, decide real quick. Is this a 2-minute conversation, or am I about to donate my entire afternoon? And that's today's Pappy's Practical Corner. Now, if you like this show, don't forget to drop us a like, a share, or even subscribe, because it each goes a long way to helping this little show get on out there. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. And as for Jerry, well, he just stopped by for a good 2 hours. Now, it was just good to converse with Jerry. And you know what? There wasn't no harm and no foul in him just stopping over just to say hi. Maybe that's what it's all about. Just taking some time to spend some time with someone who just needs to have a good conversation with someone. As a tool goes, I never did find it. Although I'm pretty sure Biscuit's using it somewhere. So maybe today, instead of looking at everything you didn't finish, look at everything you showed up for. You showed up. You tried. You helped someone. And you kept going. And sometimes, folks, that's more than enough. So this week, we learned that, number one, not everything is as important as the one thing that you don't get to. Try to stay focused on finishing one project if possible before you start with another one. Now, I'm still learning that having that kid-like butterfly attention span on projects isn't always a good thing when it comes to doing adulting things. Number two, be thankful for the things you get to experience and sincerely appreciate the people who share in your experiences throughout your life. Remember that it's better to laugh and smile than hold on to strife and troubles that we all go through. Number three, make time to see the wonders of living, because it's been said that on average, we get only 75 summers, fall, winters, and springtimes to enjoy in our lives. And there's no better time to start enjoying what we have left than now. Try to sincerely appreciate those moments we have left to enjoy and those we have to enjoy those moments with. Now, if today's episode made you smile or brought out a chuckle, then by all means share this episode with someone who could use a laugh today. They'll be forever grateful that you did. My pappy used to tell me, when we learn to laugh, we learn to heal. And in the most amazing part of our week or day, someone hearing you laugh or seeing that smile might just be the cog in the wheel that gets it all started. And there's no higher service than passing on a better demeanor to others. Trust me. And so, always remember to be kind to one another, if only because you can be. And we all can be always. Until then, take care of what's been entrusted to you. God bless the friends who take time to converse with us, even when we're trying to hustle about our lives. God bless the tools that don't disappear from our toolboxes. And God bless the United States of America. Happy out.